Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Classic1333 coming to you with a TNA Impact review. And tonight's show was kind of like, or I guess it'd be yesterday's show since it's Friday, but yeah, the show was is in the middle again. I don't know if it was better than last week or not. I think it was actually a slight bit worse than last week, but I don't know. It had some okays, but this first hour was mostly shit, so let's go into it. We start the show off with the RVD Anderson promo, basically like Anderson is like commandeering the show for 5 seconds, like sitting in the ring on a chair, and he says that he's gonna not go anywhere until Bischoff or whoever's in charge comes out and grants him his rematch with Jeff Hardy. So then Rob Van Dam comes out and basically says he doesn't appreciate what Anderson cost him the belt last week, and then they start brawling with each other. Then Bischoff comes out and says like to Anderson that he was gonna give him his rematch like tonight, but instead he likes the idea of having him versus RVD. So then Jeff Jarrett says something to Bischoff, so then Bischoff makes a three-way to have Anderson, RVD, and Angle in a three-way tonight. So that's the main event. It was okay to start off the show. Then we come back, and then they have like more Karen Jeff Jarrett wedding Angle bullshit. And then they ask Kurt Angle about his response to it, and he really doesn't say much. And then the guy's like, "Oh, come on, Kurt, I know you feel something." And then Angle basically says, he's like, "No offense to RVD and Anderson, but like I'm not in a good mood. I'm gonna kick their ass tonight." So whatever that was. Then we have our first opening match. It's Orlando Jordan, Eric Young versus Gunner and Murphy. So aren't those names terrible, Gunner and Murphy? Why not call them Most Rocco? Get him, or something. I don't know. I guess that would insult anybody named Moose and Rocco if they're like thugs or whatever on someone's team. But anyway, this match was pretty much shit. Eric Young was sort of funny in the beginning of it, like when when guys are running off the ropes or something. Like in occasion there might be like a crisscross and the guy stops and does something. Well, Eric Young just kept like running back and forth or whatever while Gunner kept running, and then Gunner was like sucking wind or whatever. So that was kind of funny, but the match was pretty much just shit. And Beer Money was doing commentary, and they were trying to I guess they're trying to build up Gunner Murphy as like a threat to him or something. But it's funny because Gunner Murphy always get their ass kicked, by anybody else they fought. So now we have to believe that they're tough or whatever. So nothing really special in this match. Orlando Jordan didn't even get tagged into this match, I don't think. But Gunner Murphy pretty much beat Eric Young. It wasn't like a total squash match, but it pretty much was, I guess. I don't know. Nothing really fancy from Gunner Murphy. Their finisher was okay. It's kind of like if you guys remember Steve Blackman and Al Snow. Head cheese, if you remember their finisher, where Blackman would hold him and then Al Snow would do the leg drop off the rope or whatever. They're basically doing that move, except I think it's Gunner's doing like an elbow drop or something. So gave it a 1 out of 5. The match sucked. Next, we got Angelina Velvet backstage. Basically, Angelina trying to talk Velvet out of wrestling Sarita next week with the career on the line or something, even though Velvet wants to wrestle her. So that was all good and said. Nice little way to promote the match for March 3rd. Next, we come back. We have a Brother Devon promo, and basically he's, angry at Bully Ray for booting one of his kids in the head and putting his other kid through a table, and the kids said that they loved him or something. He's family, blah, blah, blah. And then Bully Ray comes out and says that Devon's like a piece of shit father or whatever. And he's got some random guy. I don't know who it was supposed to be, if it was one of Devon's friends or something. Some African-American dude. He's like, "I'm going to put one of your brothers through a table." So at that point I was suspecting racism in TNA, but he goes to powerbomb the dude, and then Tommy Dreamer saves the dude for whatever reason and starts beating up Bully Ray. And then Bully Ray, I think, gets Dreamer off him, takes off running, and then Devon's trying to go after Ray, and the security's holding him back, and Devon accidentally punches Tommy Dreamer, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm so sorry I did that," or something. It's dumb. Next, we got Madison Rayne and Tara backstage. Basically, Madison Rayne tells Tara that she wants to prove the disbelievers wrong and do the match tonight all by herself. She doesn't want Tara to come out there, wants to do it on her own. So that's that. It was okay. Next we had Magnus and Crimson, in Crimson's debut match. This match was too short, but it had some decent moves in it from Crimson. basically, like, he hit, like, an exploder suplex, and then Magnus fought back with a boot to the face, and then um, Crimson hit, like, a knee to the face on a neck breaker, and then he hit this finisher, and I guess that's called the Red Alert or something. It was a pretty cool move. It was, if you ever seen, what's his dude? Yeah, if you ever seen Chris Harris do, like, the catatonic, it was basically that move, except instead of doing the slam, he, like, stopped it and reversed it and did it to him. So it was a pretty cool move. I gave it 2 out of 5. Magnus actually had a funny promo to start the match, too. He was like, okay, he's like, you look like that, but you're not this. But you look like that. You're not this, you know. It was kind of funny. So, I wish they'd bring Desmond back and have, like, him and Magnus team up again. Or, like, I hope they just do something with Magnus, because he's, you know, just off that little 5-second promo he had, he has, like, kind of like a nice little heel gimmick thing going with him, so. Overall, I was kind of somewhat impressed with Crimson, but hopefully they'll do something with him. Next we were supposed to have a Steiner Rob Terry pose down, which thank God they didn't do that, but I don't know, I started to skip over this. Rob Terry, like, called Steiner, like, I don't know, said something insulting. He started talking on the mic and I fast forwarded it because I don't want to hear Terry talk. If I don't support him, maybe he'll go away. I don't know. And then Steiner comes out and he's, like, got his suit on or whatever, and then Terry's, like, rips on him a little bit, and then Steiner, like, says something back to him, basically, like, I think it's just something Terry said about, like, his physique or something, and Steiner was like, he's like, I've been a genetic freak while you were sucking on your mother's teat, or whatever, and, Terry, like, challenges him or something, and Steiner's like, I'm gonna go back and get my ring, girl, and I'm gonna come back and kick your ass, and then Terry says, typical of an American to run away or whatever, and then, Steiner's about to, like, take his, suit off or whatever, and then Terry hits him with a weight and then starts choking him with some workout thing. I don't know, it's one of those stretch things or whatever. So, 2 things I didn't like about this little thing. Number 1, Terry hits him with a weight, and, like, Mike today and Taz didn't say anything about that. You know, I think getting hit in the head with a weight would do some damage. And then 2, Rob Terry's saying typical American. Last time I checked, everybody else in Immortal is, like, from America. Like, let's see, Jeff Hardy, Abyss, Jeff Jarrett, Karen Angle, Garner Murphy. They're all from America. So, like, to really rip on Americans is kind of ripping on his group, I think. So, yeah. Rob Terry sucks. Next, we have Winder and Velvet backstage. Basically, Winder was, like, stirring up the pot with saying, like, you know, I've been hearing the disbelievers that say you can't do it, Velvet. And then Velvet's like, after I get done with Sarita, I'm going to come for you, bitch. So, continues the feud. Awesome little backstage promo. Next, we had Karen and Jeff Jarrett at a church, which I skipped over that. Fuck that storyline. Next, we had Ric Flair promo. And it was supposed to be, I guess, Ric Flair versus AJ tonight, but they skipped the match or whatever, and they had this promo instead, which is a good thing, because we don't need to see Flair wrestle anymore. You know how the match is. Backdrop, backdrop, backdrop. So, basically, like, Flair comes out and says that he's God, and then there's this God, there's 2 gods, or whatever. And then he wants AJ to come out and get down on his knees and apologize to him, and then AJ comes out and, like, well, Flair also said, too, that, like, he saw AJ backstage, like, a lot, but, like, he kept avoiding him. Let me check my time. Well, we're doing good. That's my computer, by the way. So, basically, like, AJ, like, was avoiding Flair because, like, you know, he was going to beat the shit out of Flair, like, but he wanted to wait till later in the match or whatever. So then, Flair, like, winds up slapping AJ to teach him some respect, and then AJ starts going, like, ape shit on him and starts wailing him with punches. And then Hernandez comes out, and I was kind of expecting, you know, Hernandez and Flair just to beat the crap out of AJ, but AJ actually was, like, really strong, like, for most of this. He basically kept, like, fighting off Hernandez and throwing him out of the ring, and then going back to Flair and waylaying on him. Hernandez would come back in, he'd throw him out, start wailing on Flair, and then Hernandez come back in, throws him out, you know, jumps over the top rope and lands on him, comes back in, starts wailing on Flair. Then about the 4th time, Hernandez comes back in, and then they, like, started to finally gang up on him, but then Fortune came out to make the save, so it was actually a pretty good segment, I thought, because AJ looked strong, and then Hernandez, you know, got to look strong, like, toward the end of it, but it was like nobody really got, like, you know, looked weak in this whole, like, little promo, so. And then afterwards, Hernandez started to retreat. Matt Morgan jumped him from behind and started beating him up. So, Nice little continuation of that feud too. I wouldn't mind seeing AJ and Hernandez go at it though. So I thought this was actually pretty good on TNA's part. Um, Next we have like, which was actually probably my favorite part of the show, was like Madison Rayne comes out and she like calls out her challenger or whatever, and ODB comes out and basically like they have like a match. They have a match. It was probably like maybe 5 minutes or so, but it was a good match. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Basically, the big moves of the matchup was Madison Rayne hits a backstabber on ODB, and then ODB like winds up fighting back, and she hits like that fall away slam she does and the kip up, and then Madison Rayne finishes off the match with a Zack attack. Remember Zack Ryder doing that move? Yeah, I guess Madison Rayne's doing it now. She like did the move and pinned ODB clean. So like the heel actually beats the face clean, something TNA never freaking does anymore. So. And I like that too because like Madison Rayne has always like had interference for her matches, but I mean they showed us that she can actually beat somebody clean. So very well done, I thought, on TNA's part. Next we have Velvet's like, okay, I'm gonna get this documented. So Sarita's locker room, and then she basically says, like next week it's just gonna be me and you 1-on-1, right? And then Sarita like says like, yeah, I give you my word, and then Velvet leaves, and then she's like no way, man. She's like, this is gonna be a wild party or whatever. So then we have Matt Morgan backstage, says payback's a motherfucker, and he's gonna show Hernandez that he is a motherfucker. Then we have Jeff Jarrett getting a fitting into his tux. Who cares? I skipped that. Then I think TNA finally found something that I hate more than the whole Jarrett Karen Angle storyline they have right now. So for whatever reason, like I guess they're gonna have. I don't watch Jersey Shore. I don't like reality TV for the most part. Reality TV is kind of a piece of shit, I think. The cooking shows they have like Iron Chef or whatever, like those shows are fine. I guess if you're doing like a decoration type show, I mean that's not my thing, but those are fine. But then there's just reality TV shows like Jersey Shore. They're just pieces of shit. So yeah, I think TNA found something I hate more than that. So they show like some. The footage or whatever when like Cookie called out JWoww or something, and JWoww showed up and kicked her ass or whatever. And then I guess like for whatever reason they're like, is this the last time we'll see JWoww in TNA wrestling? And then they're saying that like next week, I guess some girl from Jersey Shore named Angelina or something, she's gonna call out JWoww or something on the show. And yeah, TNA found something for me to hate more than the Karen Jarrett Angle storyline. Thank you, TNA. So. Because I don't understand why they have to have pieces of shit that like aren't even related to like it's not even like they're not wrestling, they're not like in wrestling, so we have to feature them. I don't know. It's supposed to be a big boost in the ratings or something, but more like a waste of my time. I'd rather clean out my litter box like 10 times than watch this shit. Then we get our main event, which was good. RVD versus Anderson versus Angle. There's a ton of play-by-play for the match. I really don't want to go into it. I'd actually say check out the match. It was actually pretty good. The finish of the matchup was like Angle was going for the ankle lock on Anderson, and then Jeff Jarrett and Karen Angle come out to like distract him to like some bridal music or whatever. So they're like in their tux and wedding dress or whatever, looking all spiffy. And then Angle's distracted, and then Anderson hits a mic check. So, and then how does TNA finish the show? They cut the exact same promo that WWE cut for the 221 thing. How it was like the return of the Undertaker. They cut the same exact freaking promo again. It was like they showed a figure. They showed Raid, and they showed like a figure of like a person like all in black or something like on the stairs. Probably Sting. I'm really guessing it's Sting. If it's not Sting, like I don't know who the fuck it is, but it's got to be Sting. And it was just really pathetic, I think, of TNA to do like the exact same promo or whatever. So, like, I don't know. This company's going to go down at some point in time. But overall, I give the show probably a 4 out of 10.